We were just talking about how it just still feels like we're on the court. I haven't even got time to really digest anything, but I will say I'm just very happy about how our team really just rallied together and did the little things. I remember Chelsea saying in the timeout, there's no time for my bads anymore. We have to play perfect basketball. And even though it was not perfect, we still had each other's back. And I think that's what was the perfection in my eyes. And so I think that just as I digest the game, I'm just really, really pleased at how we really just bought into each other.
Jackie, that final putback was obviously key to win the game. And Becky said post-game that you are so good at like making plays even when it's not meant for you. You can impact outside of maybe what's intended. And I'm wondering just how you were able to accomplish that and kind of what it means to hear that from your coach.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we're going to A at the end of the game, and we have a lot of faith in her and a lot of confidence, and we think that every shot that she shoots is going in, But when it left, I saw that it was a little bit off to the right. I mean, like it's either going to bounce in or it's going to come off, and it came off just right, And I didn't really think I had enough time to come down, obviously, because there was three. They were going to have that right back on me. And I just made a play, just trying to make a right read, make an impact. I didn't do much tonight, so just trying to make an impact in some way.
And then for both of you, everything
The 14. Somebody's career high, Jack.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Well.
Something I'm seeing a lot of people talk about is the lights going off in the arena like so quickly. It was like the clock went to 0 and the lights were off and y'all were celebrating. I'm just wondering like if you can talk through what it feels like to go from like one moment to another. Like 1 second you're in the game and then next it's lights are off celebration.
I mean, for me, as soon as I see that red square go light up, it's game. So nothing else matters at that point. We can kind of just deep breathe a little bit. But the lights going off, I don't really know about none of that. Yeah, it was cool.
We'll start with Jackie. Jack, we just talked, about a week ago, pregame, and we talked a little about media day. And just everything you went through the offseason to get to this point. How satisfying does it feel? Just not necessarily avenging anything, but just everything that you went through, the end of last season, the off season, to have that put back and sort of just a little bit of jubilation.
Yeah, it took a lot to get back to feeling myself, But shout out to Jerica, we were in the gym every day, just trying to strengthen my knee, get it back. So I just felt comfortable, I obviously wasn't myself at the end of last year, and then even in Unrivaled. But we put in a lot of work, and I told her we were going to hit it hard, and we did. So we spent a lot of time in the gym in the off season. But just shout out to my teammates. They have a lot of confidence in me to just be there and make the right plays. And yeah, I mean, in that moment, I was just happy to make a good play at the end.
And Asia, for you, when I had asked you, I think last week about Jackie, you had said, let's not make any mistake. We don't go in any runs. We don't win championships without Jackie.
Absolutely.
You're almost prophetic, if you will, in saying that after what took place tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to always stand on that. And I'm not just going to say that because Jackie's sitting right next to me, but the little things that she does that doesn't show up in the stat sheet, her work ethic, the way that she approaches the game, you want someone like that in your locker room. And I don't want us to ever feel like we're going to let this slide or let her greatness slide. Everyone talks about me, hoop-de-doo, but let's not forget who Jackie Young is and why we drafted her and how she has evolved into this perfect two-way player in our league and the career that she's going to have. And I'm grateful to be your teammate, girl, for real, because like I said, we don't do anything without Jackie Young, and it's going to continue to be that way. And I think the league knows that.
Asia, post players are taught to have an internal clock, right? When they get the ball, looked like a vast switch up for you tonight. Every time you got the ball in the post, it seemed like you went right to your move. Usually it was the turnaround. Did you speed up that clock a little bit in this game?
Yeah, sometimes when I'm playing against different people, especially with Seattle, they're a long team, they're a big team. So sometimes you can't analyze it because then you're going to overanalyze it. And being a player on the other side, on the defensive side, I love when people analyze because it gives me time to really analyze what you're doing. So in this moment, I knew when it comes to just the type of post players that they have, I can't just analyze it because that gives time to collapse. It gives them time to double. So yeah, I did have to get a little pep into my step, but I also feel like it got us all kind of running and moving and playing at a pace that we needed to play at, and we didn't have that at Seattle. So I'm glad that we brought that.
And then, Jack, things got kind of ugly in that second quarter on both ends. And when it comes to postseason play, sometimes is it more scrap than skill that wins you games?
I mean, we know in the postseason it's going to be a dogfight. Everybody amps up their physicality a little bit. And the refs let us play a little bit. So, I mean, we just have to kind of figure out how the refs are calling it and then go out there and kind of match that intensity.
Asia, I know you haven't had any time to think about this, but it's the Fever upset Atlanta tonight, and I know you know that team very well. Just maybe some of your initial thoughts about facing them. It's been a while since you guys have played them.
Yeah, our biggest one is just going to be contain the basketball without fouling. I mean, Kelsey Mitchell's having one heck of a year, and it's going to be hard to slow her down, but it's not going to be just Jackie. It's going to take all of us on the defensive end, and that's what we're going to have to really lock in on is just playing defense the right way and being on time and having layers to it. And I think that's what's going to be my initial thought, and I'm sure Becky would probably say the same, but when it all boils down to it, we really can't even focus on their X's and O's because we're going to know those, they're going to know ours. It's just going to come down to us playing our way and the right way.
Jackie, just talk about your mental toughness of this game. We saw you kind of frustrated throughout some of the moments of the game. You went to the locker room for a change, came back. Just talk about how you stayed yourself mentally in it and didn't take yourself mentally out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game of runs, and highs and lows. So just trying to kind of find that middle ground, and when things aren't going my way, just trying to take a deep breath and compose myself and get back to who I am. I think that's the biggest thing. Not getting too frustrated, and then just playing through that contact and kind of letting the game come to me.
Last couple, Billy.
Asia, might be remiss if we don't maybe ask you just post-series scout, if you will, on Seattle and what they brought with that veteran group, the 7 seed. I don't think anybody outside of Seattle, thought that they were going to do what they did in Game 2 and push it to the end at Game 3. Can you just summarize what that team, gave you as a battle test?
I mean, they did their job. They got the win at home, and we didn't bring it. we didn't have it. And it's crazy. We didn't have it, and we still just lost by 3. But we just didn't have it. But they did exactly what they needed to do. They amped their physicality. They made it tough for us. And that's what it's going to be this postseason. You're getting away with a lot of other stuff because nobody wants to just listen through a whole game of whistles. So they're going to see what they can get away with, and they took advantage of that. But I think it also kind of woke us up in a sense of like, this is how playoffs is going to be. We can't revert back to the aces. That was before All-Star break, and I think we saw that. They made us uncomfortable, but I think it was our turn to kind of do that because we made them uncomfortable game 1. It was just, that's the way it is. So, yeah, I think they did a good job, a solid job of just taking care of business at home, but we had to do the same.
Last question, Percy on Zoom. Percy?
Hi, this question is for Asia. Hey, Asia, I'm sure you've seen every defense possible during your career, but during the series, you saw a steady diet of the one-on-one coverage. Just when you see that, what sort of goes through your mind? What do you think? And, how surprised were you that they didn't kind of change things up just a little bit there?
Yeah, when it comes to one-on-one coverages, it's kind of rare for me, and sometimes I get kind of excited. And I get too excited, and I miss the shot, or I overanalyze it. But this game, I just took what the defense was giving me. They put a lot of different length on me to figure out to alter my shots or to make me pass or whatever. But one thing I kind of continue to work on is doing that. Oh, hey, mom and dad. Was doing that. Like I put the work in to make sure that I'm ready for any type of look. I put the work in to make sure that I can make the passes out of the double. So I'm pretty much trying to make sure that I'm locked in on any defensive coverages. And it's going to be hard because it's always going to look different and teams are going to disguise it. But it just comes from putting in the work and getting just an understanding and getting to your spots.